Hello and welcome to our partnership podcast on our series A Day in the Life of. As you know, our series A Day in the Life of tells the stories of some of our amazing partnership colleagues and what they do in their everyday roles to help make a more caring, safer and healthier Edinburgh. Up until now, we've had a couple of blogs from our colleagues which have been shared on our colleague news articles and our colleague hub. But today I'm joined by Lucia, Romeou, Somma, a peer recovery practitioner from Thrive. So, Lucia, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for having me. All right.
Good. I'm glad that you could join us today. So let's just dive right into this. So thanks again for setting some time aside to talk to me today. So let's just start from the very top. Can you give me a little introduction to yourself? What's your job role and your job title?
So I'm a peer recovery practitioner. I'm employed by Penumbra by work for the Thrive Welcome team in the Northeast Edinburgh area. The Thrive Welcome team is a new multidisciplinary mental health support team. We're still finding our footing, but really working really hard on getting it right for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Great. And can you tell me a bit about what your job entails, what you do for the partnership and how that impacts the people of Edinburgh?
Well, as a welcome team worker, we're meant to be a first point of contact. Like I said before, our team is still in the prototype phase, so there's a lot of learning going on and lots of working out how to best listen to the people's needs, trying to adapt the tools that we have. We're hoping to provide the people of Edinburgh with a holistic approach to their mental and emotional well-being, mainly through one-on-one, person-centered and goal-focused support. So when we meet with someone for the first time, we have a chat about what their aims are, where they would like to be in their life, and seeing what ways our team can best support them to achieve that.
That sounds great. And the last year and a bit or so has really amplified how important mental health is to everyone. So it's really great that your team is out there starting to help the people of Edinburgh. Can you describe roughly what a day in the life looks like for you? I can imagine it varies from day to day.
It does. It varies quite a bit. But all our days start with what we call a huddle. So it's pretty much a check-in before we start our day. Everyone sort of gets together, has a bit of a, putting on our working hats on. We discuss new referrals, people whose support is coming to an end. We try and highlight good practice and we share feedback if we've heard anything good or any of our colleagues have had a good time. We obviously try and work around difficulties and obstacles together. And being a multidisciplinary team, that's such a rich experience because we get to sit together. So I'm a peer recovery practitioner. There's another peer recovery practitioner in our team, but we also work alongside occupational therapist, a social care assistant, senior support workers, and we should have a CPN joining us soon, so that's exciting too.
Oh, that's great. And I like what you said there about discussing all the good news stories that are happening. So it's also, although there will be a lot of challenges in your role, it's also really good to talk about the good things that are happening as well. So that's great. It's a really interesting, for me, it's a really interesting job role that you do. What inspired you to work in this industry?
Being a peer, that means that I have my own experience of mental health difficulties and recovery. And that is my main tool that I use to provide support to others. So it's kind of a selfish job that I have. I get to give meaning to really difficult experience in my past through having dissected them so many times and really gone to the core of what recovery meant to me. and being able to look into it, having the self-awareness to analyze what was going on, or how I managed to overcome my, my difficulties and my issues, putting that, or helping people realize maybe in what ways they can do the same.
Yeah.
So it's, I always say this, I get so much out of my job. I think maybe as much as I'm hoping the other person does as well. Because for me, it's a constant reminder of how to better look after myself.
Yeah, definitely.
And I get the chance to basically spend the day doing things that are good for people, good for your mental health, which is also good for my mental health. With the weather getting nicer, restrictions slowly lifting, our days are really changing right now. We used to, while the pandemic was on, we were only doing phone support or through Near Me. But now we're getting to go out a bit more, meeting people face to face.
Yeah. Imagine that making such a difference as well.
Oh yeah, it does, and you can see it in the way people are reacting to the tools and the difficult conversations that we're having. It's not the same being alone in your room for whatever day it was that you've not left your house and having a phone call, than meeting outside in the park, sitting in the sunshine and being like, actually, yeah, things are going to be okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think everyone's been feeling like that throughout this, especially during winter when it was so dark. I think that was the first time I really realised how little sunlight we actually have in the winter. So yeah, it's just so important, and I'm sure you understand that everyone's recovery journey is different.
Absolutely.
What would you say is the most, well, I guess we kind of touched on it, but what would you say is the most rewarding part of your job? I guess just helping people with the recovery.
Definitely, yeah, just being there for people when I can reflect back on being in that same position myself, and wishing someone was there, and wishing someone was able to just really understand what I was going through. Having gone through similar things myself kind of allows me to have that shared humanity with people.
Yeah.
When we're having difficult conversations, or someone brings something up that, we still hold so much stigma as a society around anything to do with mental health. Yeah. Sometimes even just saying, oh, I'm actually feeling really anxious and I don't want to go out.
Yeah.
It might be something as simple as that, and people, really find that challenging. So being able to say, what, I've been there as well. I spent so long having anxiety about being outside or talking to people, or being in groups. I mean, there's so many things.
Yeah.
But being able to say that, and to not get someone just sort of like nodding along, but saying, actually, yeah, I've been there too.
Yeah, I can imagine that being so helpful for someone who just feels so alone with it.
Yeah, it can really help the person connect in a different way than your average professional.
Yeah, of course. Oh, that's so lovely. And I guess that just falls on nicely to what would you say is the most challenging part of your role?
Maybe sometimes accepting that I can't help everyone. Yeah. That's something that I definitely need to remind myself often. Sometimes you're just in a place where you're not quite ready to take the steps, or you just need to sit on the discomfort for a little bit longer, and that's also part of recovery. Yeah. It might not sound it, and it might not translate to outcomes or goal achievement. But sometimes just accepting that that's the place that you are, and that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Can be a part of it, and it can be quite challenging when I'm feeling really ready to take someone on, or I can see that they might be ready, but we're just not in the same place. Yeah, and I need to accept that as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and obviously the last year and a half now, probably, that with the pandemic. I'm sure that's brought more challenges. What would you say has been the most challenging part of the pandemic?
Well, I did join Thrive only in December, so I came in like half pandemic. I was on maternity leave before, so I kind of came in right in the middle of it. And like I said, we did a lot of phone support, which in itself can be quite challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, having difficult conversations is hard enough.
Yeah.
Having difficult conversations on the phone with someone whose face you've never seen
Yeah.
can be even a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the people have been really amazing and really understanding about how important these things are to keep everyone safe.
Mm-hmm.
And they've made a huge effort to put their difficulties aside and to really engage with us.
Yeah.
So it's been a team effort, not just our team, but also with the people that we work with, to help everyone try and feel as comfortable as we can with what we've got.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess we'll just move nicely on to the last question that I have. What advice would you give yourself if you could go back and speak to yourself on your first day of your job?
I guess I would tell myself to trust my instincts.
Mm-hmm.
It can be quite hard to, this is maybe very personal, not too relevant, but as a peer, being in a team with other professionals can feel a little bit intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I've been so lucky with my team. Everyone is so welcoming and accepting and supportive. So I'll probably say, trust my instincts, not be scared of saying what is in my mind, and reassuring myself that actually my experience, my expertise is valued.
Brilliant. No, definitely. I'm sure they're so valued, and I'm sure you're helping so many people across Edinburgh, which is so nice to hear.
Certainly, what we're trying to do.
Yeah, of course. And as I said at the beginning of this, mental health is so important right now, more than ever. So I'm just glad that I've had the time to speak with you today, and I hope that we've both inspired other colleagues to think about their mental health and just put yourself first sometimes.
Absolutely, it's so necessary, and it can be so easy to forget, especially for those of us who have like an inclination towards social care and helping people.
Yeah, of course.
It's so easy to worry about other people's problems and forget that we have our own too.
Yeah, exactly. I know, that's such a lovely note to end on. So thank you so much for joining me. And
time.
More of these podcasts soon.
Thank you so much for the time.